Thank you to God, thank you to the Prime Minister, thank you to everyone who associated in this program and helped me. Thank you very much. This unit was built by the government of Jamaica under the new social housing program and hand over to Dengue, which is me, by Dr. the most Dr. Honorable Angela. At 1 p.m. and we're taking a walk inside just now.
Nice. You're inviting us into your home?
Yes, I'm inviting you. Sure, my Prime Minister. You can take a look in my bedroom.
It looks like cribs.
Every time I want to shelter someone, in case I get shelter, no one ever go. Oh, Mr. Andrew Owens, I'm so grateful for this. Thanks to the people of Jamaica again, thanks to the new housing social program, thanks to each and every one. I appreciate it.
Do you know I came one day and installed one of the windows?
You did?
You wouldn't have known.
Have a look inside. Oh, it's beautiful. It's lovely. It's great. It's gorgeous. It's just Kenneth. Very lovely.
I'm seeing it. Juliet had a hand in this.
Okay.
It's clear. But this is what I like.
Yeah, the kitchen is beautiful. I love it.
Juliet, you had a hand in this?
She likes certain colors, and once they fit into the standard requirements, then it was made possible.
Oh no, thank you.
Let's take one Prime Minister. All the time, 6 terms.
Hey.
One of the things that failed us as a people is the fact that we have the elite class and the educated class of people who exploit ignorance, exploit illiteracy, exploit people who are gullible. So the people who are gullible will just accept everything and grab onto everything they are fed. They and run with it. Them gullible. Yeah? The problem with this elite class and this educated class is that they want to stay above or on top of the vulnerable class, the dependent class, the class will look to them for information, the class will look to them for better. See? They want to stay on top, to feel good about themselves, to feel pompous about themselves. See? A man like the common man or a virgin when you go to the elite school, them man no keep the same company as the educated class, the elite class. People already have a preconceived mindset. That man there's a dunce, you know. Because that man now go come and give you all the terminology and all the, him now go be a sesquipedalian. We know every word, we know every big word, we can posit every big word. See? That man is a man who just have critical thinking skills. That man is a man who just can break down things and decipher things and just make you have a basic understanding of it. But the people them don't want no information from that person. Them see that person as dunce. Worse, the elite class already tell you say that person is dunce. That person is in a them league. So you, the vulnerable minds, I look towards the elite class for information. One of them persons there, we are going to feature now, a Diane Jackson Miller. Paul and Llewellyn say she's a junior counsel. Now you have to put an asterisk beside a counsel, or you have to go spell it C-O-U-N-C-I-L, because you can't believe that this is a real liar. the way how she reason. Because when you are a lawyer, you have to go through certain courses where deal with ethics, certain moral codes. You have to go through them things in your studies. Zane? You have to deal with objective reasoning, not subjective reasoning. And when you listen to Dan Jackson Miller, you say, one of them people are the cheat the thing to become counsel. And that you have to wonder to yourself, you know. Because them level of reasoning is so, you know, biased and nonsensical. And you say, what are they? I want to go on here, so. A real liar, this or a TV liar. Like how some people play TV judge. Yeah? Now, the latest video Mr. she put out about Mark Golding versus the Prime Minister and Delroy Chuck. It really made me have to say, no man, that woman, yeah, is either she totally turned off her intelligence or she never did have none from morning. And I play liar. Or this guys as a journalist to support the PMP. But whichever way, it's not a good look. And even the Bar Association or whichever she go get her degree. The lady, I go say, Andrew Wellness wrong to set up a meeting or to arrange a meeting with Mark Golding and Delroy Chuck. The woman I say Mark Golding was within his right because he is in a different league than Delroy Chuck. Delroy Chuck is a liar, you know. Member say Dr. Andrew Wellness is not a liar, you know. Member say Delroy Chuck is the man who deal with constitutional reform and his portfolio deal with that. And justice. Film portfolio that. Mark Golding knowing well or knew well that that is Delroy Chuck portfolio. Him go assign himself as the shadow minister. Then if any meeting for go on or anything to discuss, not Delroy Chuck with a link with, not Delroy Chuck with a meet with and get things started. Because Delroy Chuck may know more than Andrew Wellness in this regard when it comes down to constitutional matter. Just like how you have some lawyers who can interpret the Constitution. They are constitutional lawyers. Or constitution lawyers. Them interpret, they just feel them feel that. You want to think say a woman who call herself a liar that come forward and say, Mark Golding in a different league. And it's a disrespect for Mark Golding to go meet with Delroy Chuck. You wouldn't expect that, though. So watch this now. Remember when Paula and Llewellyn draw the level scale pan and say she a junior counsel, you know. Remember the comrades them as a Paula, Llewellyn, yeah? Show off. Are Paula and Llewellyn disrespectful? Are Paula and Llewellyn bossy and a pop style pan her? But what she come back now come tell we say, Delroy Chuck now in a Mark Golding league. Or the Prime Minister him to meet with. Now, it doesn't make any sense. Rubio. Yeah? Rubio go around the world and meet with leaders. I know Donald Trump go meet with everybody. Don't it? Marco Rubio go around the world, come out of Jamaica and meet with the Prime Minister and so forth and so on. Him not the president for America. It's like, just look on a reason there. Different people who are assigned to different portfolio, them have meeting with shadow minister or people around the world. And it's not the Prime Minister, I go there everywhere and meet with everyone to deal with certain matters. Plus, certain matters may not be something where him specialize in. And the woman I say, Andrew Wellness wrong. And Mark Golding in a different league. How comes you go put Andrew Wellness, yeah, in a different league and I put Delroy Chuck there so how Mark Golding meet with Delroy Chuck Mark Golding for meet with the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister league they up there so and Mark Golding the opposition leader for him league they up there so too. Doesn't make any sense, don't. But at them been holding us back for years because the gullible minds and the people them were run around with the nonsense when them put forward. Those people are held back and don't even know, say, these people, they and Jackson Miller, them people here, are detrimental for the development of your country.
I take this opportunity to update this Honorable House on the current status, dengue in Jamaica, and of course, leading up to that point, the mosquitoes that many have called about and some are expressing, rightfully so, concerns about. We note, Mr. Speaker, that in recent times, complaints from the population about the prevalence of mosquitoes across their communities and the wish to allay some fears, we are reassuring the public of our commitment to keeping them informed, helping them to appreciate the challenges that we face, and defining again and reminding our role in that process as well as their own role in terms of personal responsibility. Mr. Speaker, the yearly pattern of dengue in Jamaica shows a distinct seasonality, with the highest incidence of cases being seen in the latter part of the year, peaking around October. As of the 13th of October 2025, the number of dengue cases has been below the normal epidemic threshold since September 2024. To date, there have been 23 dengue cases recorded for the month of September, suspected and confirmed that is, and this is well below the epidemic threshold of a similar period where we had some with 257. So you would have to get to 257 or more to get to that epidemic threshold. So we're well within that. At the same time, Jamaica is currently experiencing a notable increase in mosquito population across multiple species, particularly nuisance mosquitoes. And we refer to nuisance mosquitoes as domestic species that are here with us, have always been here with us, but they do not carry the virus itself. The recent shift from drought to intense rainfall has created ideal conditions for mosquito breeding. When in drought, we often turn to water storage practices that unintentionally create breeding sites, so the use of drums, tanks, buckets. When rains return, these containers, along with clogged drains, discarded items, and natural depressions, become filled with water, triggering explosive mosquito breeding sites. Of note too, Mr. Speaker, is a sudden rise in soil-breeding mosquito species, which lay their eggs on damp or semi-dry soil in flood-prone areas, and these species have adapted to depositing eggs in areas that may remain dry for extended periods, but are likely to flood following rainfall. And this is a little public education, but we think it's necessary. During drought conditions, these eggs remain dormant in the soil, often for weeks or even up to a year. So those eggs can last up to a year, depending on the species of mosquitoes. Once heavy rains arrive, which they have over recent weeks, the soil becomes saturated and flooded and triggers mass hatching. The result is a sudden and dramatic increase in adult mosquito populations, especially among several aggressive and nuisance-biting mosquito species. The surge follows a period of drought succeeded by heavy rainfall and is a climatic pattern that significantly influences mosquito breeding dynamics. The rise in mosquito population, Mr. Speaker, poses several challenges. Greater nuisance biting affecting daily activities and sleep, and that's where we have gotten a number of calls, and source reductions, as well as elevated risk of disease outbreaks, especially in vulnerable communities. These nuisance mosquitoes are those especially affecting the population at this time and causing the levels of discomfort that many are experiencing. In other words, the population of mosquitoes are primarily nuisance related. Still a problem, because nobody wants to be bitten by a mosquito, but it's not the Aedes aegypti virus-carrying mosquito. The Aedes aegypti species, the vector that carries the dengue virus, there is no significant rise based on the surveillance, and we do expect an increase, however, in this disease-carrying type by the end of October into November. So what the experts are saying is that while currently this is not the case, it is likely to become the case later on this month into next month. I suspect it has something to do with the science of how the breeding takes place, which I won't try to explain. Dengue is endemic to Jamaica, and all 4 serotypes have been identified and have caused outbreaks. The recent dengue outbreaks occurred in 2007, 2010, 12, 13, 16, 18 to 20, meaning 2018 to 2020, and 23 to 24, with increasing frequencies noted over the period. And this is not unique to Jamaica. Dengue, because of climate change, has become a more frequent occurrence globally, certainly in tropical climates. The data from the National Surveillance Unit indicates that dengue fever activity is low as of the week October 11, 2025. Year to date, there have been some 379 dengue cases for 2025, much fewer than when compared to the similar period last year, where we had 1,819 for the same period in 2024. And there was also 2 dengue deaths last year, and so far for 2025, 2 this year. While the historical dengue season is between September to January of the following year, peaking in October around epidemiology week 41 to 43 for 2025, the seasonal line has not been exceeded as of October 11, 2025. Based on the epidemiological surveillance data for 25-26, dengue season is either delayed in its onset or the dengue season is a low activity season.